Okay, so I was gonna completely like let this like go because I don't have a dog in this fight, and I don't follow either one of these people's like career. I just like I like to tune in after the housewives to see what the bloggers are saying because they're good talkers. And DJ Richie Sky, um, who's absolutely adorable, but you know, Michelle Atlien and Funky Dineva have been the people with the hottest takes for a long time, but I've never really like gotten into their like career to like follow them. I didn't like get into the like Queen's Court, or I love T.S. Madison as an adult entertainer. I am a fan of My Neck, My Back. Um, I will forever, rep for Kaya in that song and that album. It was one of the only albums my mom likes. Um, but I have not been following their careers. And I say all that to say that this drama that has been going on with Funky Dineva and Michelle Brown, um, I really want to comment on it. This is kind of like a video to myself, like in a way. And I hope this helps other people. But what made me want to make a video today was out of nowhere, like Unwind with Tasha K pops up because it has Funky Dineva on it. And I stopped watching Unwind with Tasha K when she was kind of going down the rabbit hole with Wendy Williams while Wendy Williams was going through her divorce. And I think pretty much everybody, attributes like the breaking of the stories to Tasha K. I mean, I didn't know all of the stuff about the baby and the what her name was or any of those things until like Tasha K popped up on my um timeline with all the drama that was going on because I watched Wendy Williams. So she kind of got looped into that. But I didn't really appreciate her coverage of that. It just seemed really personal to her for me, and it's such a messed up situation. I just didn't understand what could possibly have made her so like involved. And then I don't know, I guess it got super messy and legal and all these things. Either way, I just wasn't into it. I didn't like her delivery. I didn't like the clinking of the glass. I just kind of got over it. And then so she pops up on my timeline and it says Funky Dineva's letting it all hang out. And I thought it was Funky Dineva, her covering the Funky Dineva video from, I guess, 2 or 3 days ago now, where he kind of just does a rant about Michelle Brown. And I really didn't like the rant because there was clearly, what I heard was he clearly did something monumentously wrong to Michelle Brown. For him, it was 6 years ago. He feels she should be over it. What set him off is that when his video was terminated, that there were people, including myself, who made a video about his channel being terminated. Now, like I said, I don't really follow the careers of these YouTubers, but I watch YouTube. And I know that Funky Dineva has been around for a long time. I knew about Straight Out of the A, just from sort of piling around in the entertainment circles, the blog. But I didn't connect Michelle Brown with Straight Out of the A, and I had no idea that she was kind of like the central figure in all these people's careers. But I had no clue about Funky Dineva and Michelle Brown's connection until Funky Dineva brought it up, because the video when he came back from being terminated, I thought he was going to address what happened with the termination. Instead, he went down this whole track about him and Michelle Brown. That's when I found out about their this ongoing battle that they've had for all these years. And I don't think he kind of understands that. Like, as a YouTuber, you're constantly gaining new fans. And in my mind, it's, I'm really skeptical about these things, but I thought it was like there's like this drama with like Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson and Trisha Paytas, and it involves, like, by offshoot, Luscious Massacre and Rich Lux, and like honestly, I stumbled into that drama by watching the Jeffree Star documentary last year. Like, all of a sudden it was in my algorithm. So it's like there's all this drama and intrigue now, and people's channels are getting shut off, and people, all these wild accusations, and like these deep dive, things are like coming up from like D'Angelo Wallace, and it's like bringing me into this whole like webverse of YouTuber like intrigue and scandal. And I think basically what we're seeing is the network wars, but like on a minor scale, because it's like individual people. So it's not like whole teams of lawyers and whole teams of managers and agents sort of vying for property and trying to clear their names. This is ABC, CBS, NBC, but WWE style, but accessible on your phone. And um, I was really shocked to find out that Michelle Brown was, like, supposed, like, according to Funky Dineva, that Michelle Brown was like trash talking him for losing the channel. I didn't know they intersected. So a few days later, Michelle Brown answers, and I guess it doesn't look like they were re-uploaded, but I guess because of this drama coming back in the algorithm, old videos of Michelle Brown and Funky Dineva's history start popping up about the apartment and or the townhouse that he rented, and the missing washer and dryer and all these things. But um what it led me to understand was that whatever he had done, it was not only truly hurtful, it was criminal. And that it is one of those things that whenever you see a person or hear a person's name, you will automatically think, that's the person who did that to me that time, and I don't know how to treat them any other way. I don't know how to treat them. We've never gotten back on the same page. It just seems like he went off about his business. She had to pursue her business. They had to legally dispute how to rectify the situation. And they're both doing well now after they both went through some ups and downs, as far as I've seen. So tonight, when he appeared on Online with Tasha K, I was shocked. I thought that she was going to be talking about the issue. I didn't expect him to be a guest. What was even more shocking to me, and I sound like such an old lady when I say it's shocking. But what was really upsetting to me was that it was like 20, 30 minutes of him repeatedly talking about, making these remarks about her hygiene, her smell, um, talking about who she was sleeping with, and all these things. And his justification was that she had been making videos about him for the past 6 years, I guess every so often. But I mean, that's the breaks of being a person who's wronged somebody who has a platform, and you have a platform as well. So, I don't really get where he was coming from. But what I was waiting to hear was him to defend defend himself in some way, but he kept attacking her and attacking her and attacking her. And then what it made me realize, and I think this is what people need to understand. I'm a recovering addict and I work 12 steps. And I don't say that that works for everybody. But when you do those steps, you confront your past in a way that helps you lay those things down with the past of who you were. You will always be a person who suffers and deals with the disease of addiction. And what you learn as a drug addict in recovery, if you make it far enough, if you can stay away from drugs and alcohol, is that the substance was not what you were addicted to. It is resentments that you're addicted to. It's negative thinking that you're addicted to. It's basically your past you're addicted to. It's a feeling you're trying to live in. All of that feeling. It's not just the high. It's not just um, the warm feeling of falling asleep drunk after a fun night with friends. It is the mindset of being the person who was trying to party their pain away. And when you wake up to the type of person you were, you start realizing that while you were dealing with your addiction, you were a shit person. You might not have gone to jail. You might not have ended up in a psych ward. You might not have overdosed. You may have paid your rent, but excuse me. But you have to forgive yourself every day for those phone calls you didn't make, that healing you didn't do, those relationships that you messed up, those bank accounts that you defaulted on, all the missed opportunities, the lost time. And I think a lot of addicts, instead of doing that soul searching, they do what Funky Dineva is doing, which is saying, I'm doing good now. You see me now. You see how I am now. You see I'm eating good and living good and all these things. And you just praying for my downfall. Well, I'm not that person anymore. And clearly, part of who you were is who you are now. It just seems as if you've edited out some of the bad things, took some of the bad behavior and brought that into your present. And I'm just speculating here, but I don't know how smart it is to be on a small burgeoning network where, I mean, your show with Claudia Jordan and Al, and I guess there's somebody else, Gary with the T. That show, I mean, Gary with the T is pretty much an icon. Claudia Jordan, as far as I have seen, she's a very talented television presenter, but no filmography to go with it. Something's not right there. I don't understand what's happened to her career, and she does not look as if she is at the place where she wants to be. When I see her on the show, I see a professional who is slumming. And I don't exactly know why her career didn't take off. Like, she reminds me of somebody like a Tamia, who like can sing the notes and looks the way she looks and is, iconic and has so many moments in pop culture history. But then I remember she's married to like a very wealthy basketball player who's well beloved, and maybe she doesn't feel like she has to work that much. I don't think Claudia Jordan has that. So I don't understand why she's not more well received in the entertainment industry. But, anyways, I digress. You're on Claudia Jordan's show that Michelle Brown has obviously probably, she has problems with. Yes, Claudia Jordan was caught on tape being very colorist. The tape is out there. She seems colorist in that tape. I don't know if that's like an ongoing thing. I don't think she's anybody whose opinion of other people's looks is something to worry about. But what okay, you're on her channel, which is on Fox Soul. The other show that she is on, I believe she's on it. She's on it with Lisa Ray. You're on a show today with a person whose show yesterday and for the past couple of days has been about how Lisa Ray has been accused of or alleged to or rumored to have committed incest and been living in or being in a lesbian relationship with Debrat, who is known as her sister. Look, I have no clue. It's all very messy and confusing. I don't know their business, but I believe that all this stuff is rumor and alleged. Either way, it's a very painful, tawdry, VC Andrews kind of situation, and Tasha K is talking about it. Now, like I said, I pop into YouTube for the tea every once in a while, and certain people are the best at it. Certain people just pop up on the timeline with some tea. And that's the tea that she's popped up with. So your co-worker's other job on the same network is talking about two entertainment legends who've been around much longer than probably you've been alive. And you're on her content repeatedly just talking about how your mentor's pussy smells. Like, that's the gig? Okay. I don't know how else to put this, but this is all addict behavior. You're not thinking clearly, Funky Dineva. I don't know if you'll ever see this, but what I saw today is not proportional to what I heard Michelle Brown say to you or to anybody when your channel was terminated. She took the bulk of it to explain what epitomine was, that it was a news article from BuzzFeed where several people had this thing happening, and that she was putting it out as both a YouTuber and a person who understands what it's like to have their channel taken down. She also said that she wouldn't wish it on her worst enemy. She did talk about the issues of your past that you've acknowledged, she's made claims of, so forth and so on. The truth of the matter is those things are now public record pretty much, so if they can be found out, they will be found out if people are interested. But something's not adding up here. Like, if it was 6 years ago that you victimized her, and you can reclaim instances of just being this stand-up friend to her for the most part, but you can also recall that she was there for you and you hurt her. But can't you also imagine that you were also not fully in your complete mind, that you had just lost your mother. Somewhere in there, you lost your dad. You were running around Atlanta being the mess we saw you to be, and that you might not necessarily know how that affected that person. Another thing, this whole pussy smelling thing is so ridiculous. The craziest thing about it to me is like, I could see if Funky Dineva, and this is not a read, but since people just keeping it gutter bucket nowadays, we're just gonna keep it gutter bucket. Funky Dineva has an ash problem. Funky Dineva has a fashion problem. Funky Dineva has a style problem, a grooming problem. Um, Funky Dineva, you look about 55 years old, and you talking about her age in her face, and that's really strange to me because I don't see anything wrong with her face, but I don't know. I guess a hit dog will holler, and hurt people, and I think you keep saying those things about her, but it sounds like a lot of projection because um, I think you need to watch that video. If you haven't watched that video, I'm saying that to everybody, but I think you need to watch her video about Funky Dineva's channel being terminated because it is a lesson for content creators. It does show that she knows what she's talking about. She talks about her own experience as a creator. Um, but like I said, him going on Tasha K and saying all those things that long, I mean, it is, I feel like he literally described in the most disgusting, like, vulgar terms about what he felt her vagina smell is and what the rumors are about it that apparently only come from him and another gay guy. And like, I don't know why that hasn't, but I mean, it's like 20 minutes of that. And you can sort of see him reach a point of clarity in it when he's like, I really hurt her. But then he's like, he reverts to being like, but it was in the past, or it was something. He's trying to think for her. He's trying to be angry at her. And what it all sounds like to me is there is a part of him that was really going through something very dark when he lived in Atlanta, that he is in deep grief of the loss of both of his parents. He never had resolved issues with his mother, that Michelle came in like a mother, and he feels like she slighted him by not continuing to be there for him when he absolutely needed her the most, because he needed a mom. And those are things you work through in recovery if you go to a therapist, if you seek the help, if you work the steps, if you really have stopped using. So I am really, really sad for what I had to hear today. And I hope anybody else who heard that, any other woman who heard that, doesn't judge any of those people too harshly. I know it was a lot. It was very vulgar. It was like verbal punches. Um, like I said, I still don't understand why he would go on his coworkers shade throwing, shit stirring content creators channel to voice his concerns. But I mean, I guess the checks you got cut, but I think it might be a little early in the game to be talking about you done made it, sis. So, bye.